Hi, I'm Matt Roy from Blue Ocean Benefits and Consulting, blueoceannj.com. And today what we're going to talk about is the deductible on your health insurance policy. It's a pretty confusing item for a lot of people. So we're going to take each piece of a policy and talk about it from time to time. Today, just the deductible. This right here is a typical policy. If you think of this as a bucket and all the money that you spend is dropping into the bucket, and each piece of it is then allocated to one part or another. Well, like I said, we'll talk today about deductible. If you think of this as a bucket, as you pay money, some of the money that you pay is subject to a deductible. Usually it's hospital, inpatient, outpatient things. On some policies it's everything. On some policies it's specific things, and you need to review your policy and the plan design that you have to make sure that you know what is subject to a deductible. But the word deductible is what confuses people. Think of a policy, think of it this way. The terms used are from the insurance company's perspective. So what can they deduct from what they pay you? All right, so a deductible is your responsibility. All right, so, and it's usually at the top of a policy or the beginning. So it's the first monies that you spend. So if you go into the hospital and you have a $3,000 bill, and your deductible, as in this policy, is $2,500. The first $2,500 is in the deductible. After that, it goes to another layer, which we'll talk about in another video. So the deductible is the first $2,500 in this case per calendar year or plan year, depending on your plan, but per year that you're responsible for. So if you have a $100,000 claim, you're going to have a $2,500 responsibility. If you have a $5,000 claim, you have a $2,500 responsibility. The key is to understand that it's the first part of the policy in general. All right. The reason we have two numbers here is usually if you're a single, it's $2,500, and if you're a family, parent, child, a husband, wife, two adults, you'll have a larger deductible. Okay, so you'll have a $5,000 deductible, or it may be $2,500 per person. So we put that number, but it's a little deceiving because people will look at a plan design and see $25,500 and say, oh, I'm a family, I have a $5,000 responsibility. Not necessarily. There are a bunch of different types of deductibles, and you have to know which kind you have. Okay, so it's a good question to ask the person presenting your benefits, what kind of deductible is this? And you can use these terms. Is it a 2 times deductible, a 3 times deductible, an aggregate deductible, or even what's called an embedded deductible, which you'll see on a lot of high deductible plans, and I'm going to explain those to you very quickly. A 2 times deductible, now this wouldn't apply if you're single. If you're a single, your deductible is $2,500 and that's it. But a 2 times deductible means that each member of the family has their own deductible. But if 2 people meet it in that year, then everyone else gets to skip and not meet any more of their deductible. So in other words, if it's met 2 times, the whole thing is done. However, if you have 4 people in your family and everybody hits 2,000, no one has met their deductible, so you'll actually pay $8,000 in deductible expenses instead of this 5. Now, usually that's taken care of later in the maximum out of pocket, so it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you have to understand that a 2 times deductible means that 2 people must fully meet their deductible for the deductible to be waived. 3 times would be 3 times, and an aggregate is a little different. An aggregate is a family has a $5,000 deductible, each person has a $2,500 deductible, but any combination that gets you to 5 meets the thing. So if you have a $2,500 worth of claims and your spouse has $1,000 and your child has $1,500, you've met the deductible. The third type of deductible, which we don't list here, is what you'll see commonly on HSAs, which is where it's a $5,000 deductible and one person can meet it, any number of people can meet it. It's a little more common on a high deductible plan where we're trying to keep the premium down. So really there's three kinds. There's a 2 times, there's an aggregate where any combination, and then there's one even where one person can meet the whole deductible. If you have any questions, you should always talk to your plan advisor, but that's a brief description of what a deductible is. I'm Matt Roy from Blue Ocean Benefits and Consulting.